In the heart of the Vatican, beneath the stunning artwork of the Sistine Chapel, a hidden and sacred event unfolds behind closed doors, a ritual so shrouded in secrecy that its whispers echo throughout history. This is the Papal Conclave, a centuries-old tradition where the future of the Catholic Church is decided in total isolation. For over 800 years, cardinals have gathered to choose the Pope, the leader of over 1 billion faithful worldwide. But this process is no simple election. It is a battle of power, politics, and ancient rituals. What drives this secretive process, and what forces beyond faith itself shape the outcome? The story of the Papal Conclave begins long before its official formation. In the medieval era, papal elections were notorious for chaos, intrigue, and power struggles. During the early centuries of the Church, it was not uncommon for the Christian community in Rome to play a significant role in electing the Pope. But soon, the influence of bishops, noble families, and secular rulers seeped into the process. Popes became pawns in a game of political maneuvering. The most dramatic period came in the 10th and 11th centuries when the Holy Roman Emperors interfered directly, appointing their own papal candidates, even through bribes and manipulation. As the centuries progressed, the scandals reached new heights. The papal throne became a coveted seat, one that many were willing to fight for, even to the death. In the year 1268, Pope Clement IV died, leaving behind a vacancy that would spark the longest and most scandalous election in history. The cardinals could not agree on a successor for 3 long years, with politics, personal rivalries, and greed pulling them in different directions. The situation grew so dire that local rulers in the town of Viterbo, frustrated by the deadlock, took drastic measures. The cardinals were locked inside a palace, isolated from the outside world. But they didn't stop there. They cut off the food supply to force a decision. The result was an impasse so severe that the very structure of papal elections had to be reformed. In the wake of this political and spiritual turmoil, Pope Gregory X took decisive action. In 1274, he instituted a radical change. To prevent future delays, he created the conclave, an isolated election where cardinals would be confined to a single location, unable to communicate with the outside world. This was no ordinary election. It was a ritualized process designed to concentrate the minds of the cardinals on one singular task: choosing the next pope. But Pope Gregory X, introducing a rule that would forever change the course of papal elections. To hasten the process, the cardinals would be rationed food, forcing them to make a decision quickly or face hunger. The very first use of this reform came in 1276, where a pope was elected in just 1 day. However, not all cardinals were happy with these changes. Some saw the conclave as a restriction of their power, while others tried to avoid it altogether. Yet despite this resistance, the conclave system became the standard method of electing a pope, and it has remained in place ever since. As the centuries passed, the conclave transformed from a purely spiritual event into a fierce political battleground. Secular rulers, kings, queens, and emperors were no longer content to watch from the sidelines. Monarchs of France, Spain, and the Holy Roman Empire sought to influence the outcome, often pushing for their preferred candidates. In the 17th century, France even gained a veto power over papal candidates, allowing the king to block a candidate he did not like. Yet, despite these external pressures, one conclave in particular stands out. From November 29, 1314 to August 7, 1316, the cardinals failed to agree on a pope. This election, which stretched on for 1,005 days, was marked by deadlock and division. Some cardinals wanted a French pope, while others sought an Italian. The election dragged on, with some cardinals even abandoning the process. Finally, it was the King of France himself who intervened, forcing the cardinals to elect Pope John the 22nd. The conclave had shown that it was not only a religious event, but also a reflection of the power struggles and political games that shaped Europe. By the 16th century, the election had become an even more mysterious and anticipated event, with the public watching for signs from the Vatican. A new tradition was born, the smoke signals. As the conclave drew to a close, the world waited for one crucial moment: the rise of smoke from the Sistine Chapel's chimney. Black smoke signaled that no decision had been made, while white smoke heralded the election of a new pope. But why smoke? It was not always so clear. In the early days, the result was announced publicly in St. Peter's Square, but by the 16th century, the burning of straw and wet wood was introduced to create the telltale signs. In 2005, however, a new twist occurred. During the election after Pope John Paul II's death, the smoke appeared gray, creating mass confusion. Today, special chemicals are used to ensure that the smoke is unmistakably black or white, a clear signal to the watching world. The modern conclave, though rooted in ancient tradition, has evolved to meet the needs of the 21st century. Cardinals under the age of 80 are still locked inside the Sistine Chapel, cut off from the world outside. Voting takes place multiple times a day, and a candidate must receive a 2/3 majority to be elected. The process is as secretive as ever, with cameras banned from the chapel, ensuring that nothing leaks out until the decision is made. Once a new pope is chosen, the moment is as dramatic as it is historic. The senior cardinal deacon steps out onto the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica and announces, "Habemus Papam."
Habemus Papam.
The world watches, waiting for the name of the new leader of the Catholic Church. But beneath this moment of public celebration lies a history of secrets, struggles, and power plays that still shape the election of the Pope today. The conclave, this most secretive of traditions, remains one of the most mysterious and fascinating electoral processes in the world. It's a ritual that spans centuries, a testament to the ever-present struggle between faith and power, and a reminder that even in the heart of the Church, politics and intrigue are never far behind.